We're pleased to welcome Janine di Giovanni back to the program, and she will tell us about The Vanishing. Now, this is your 9th book.
Yes,
but this is a very special book, isn't it?
It is. It's something I've wanted to write for a long time. I've been working in the Middle East for 30 years, 31 years, since 1990. And when I started working there and I was covering wars or conflicts, there was one thing that always really resonated with me, and that was how minority communities managed to remain and how resilient they were in the face of many, many obstacles. The Christian community in Iraq, for instance, I first became, well, I'd always been aware of them, but I first worked with them, reported on them in the days of Saddam Hussein. And at that time, working under Saddam Hussein as a journalist meant that you were scrutinized heavily by the secret police, the mukhabarat, and you weren't really allowed to go where you wanted to go or to write about what you wanted to write about. We weren't allowed to have cell phones. My satellite phone was confiscated every night so they could see who I was calling. But for some strange reason, right before the American invasion in 2003, I was given permission to drive the length and width of Iraq. And I knew that this would be a chance to see a country that would not exist ever again in the way that it was then, that it was going to change forever.
Now, did you drive alone, or did Saddam sent one of his people to look over your shoulder?
Saddam sent a couple people to look over my shoulder. I didn't know then. I mean, one was my translator, one was my driver. I wasn't really sure who was the internal spy. I thought it was my translator. It turned out to be my driver. But I was aware that I was being watched, that notes were being taken, that there were cameras in my room, my hotel room. So I was always very careful, especially with the people that I would be interviewing, because of course the risk for me was much less than it was for them.
But tell us about, you had these minders and you were touring Iraq, and what did you find?
So way back in 2003, what I found were the Christian communities there, who are ancient people. I mean, Jim, the really interesting thing for me is their roots are so deep. They go back 2,000 years. Many of them are descendants of the apostles or the prophets who came there, Jonah and the whale, the apostle Thomas, who came there at the time of Christ to basically preach and bear witness and to gather their flock. So I remember going to masses in the Assyrian churches and the Chaldean churches, and hearing them pray in Aramaic, which is the language of Christ, for a kind of protection, because they were terrified of the American invasion. The Christians in the Middle East, the ones that I focused on, by and large have always been protected by dictators. So the Iraqis by Saddam Hussein, the Christians in Syria by Bashar al-Assad, and before that his father, Hafez, and in Egypt, Mubarak. So for them...
So what accounts for that? I mean, Christianity is supposed to be a humanitarian
Absolutely.
Religion opposed to dictators, and here you have dictators protecting Christians.
Absolutely. I think there was a kind of deal with the devil. I mean, none of this is official, of course. This is just something that analysts such as myself or social scientists or political scientists have seen and have remarked on. I think it's largely because they felt safe under the devil they knew. And in the case of Saddam, he basically allowed them to live in their communities as they wanted. What they feared was a change of hands that would mean something radical, something terrifying, something that would cease their existence.